Hello. Welcome to Lori's Classroom Stories and Crochet.
Hi there, I'm here with a math lesson. I'll just do the math lesson on how to calculate how much yardage you have when you don't have full skeins, or you suspect you don't have full skeins, as long as you have the ball band. Sorry about my phone. It's just not one of my videos without that. All right. So this ball band, clearly this is not full skein. So I'm not going to do my pre-measuring. We're just going to go off of what it says. It says I have, it's not focused, I'm sorry. Try to get it focused. This is my kitchen scale that is hardly ever used for food. So it says I have, if I had a full skein, that is 6 ounces and 315 yards. So I'm going to say 315 yards per 6 ounces. All right. So now I'm going to weigh all of this. I'm going to go ahead and leave the ball band on because I have it on there pretty tight. Sorry, change that. Wait for it to set. And I have it in pounds and ounces. I probably should have just done ounces. Oh, really? Okay. All right. This says, that seems light. It says 7.5 ounces. Maybe. That says that's 4 ounces. So 7.6 ounces this time. All right. So I'm going to turn off my scale. And we're going to do the math. So we have 7.6 ounces. And we want to know, how many yards is that? Okay. All right. Wait for it to focus again. Sorry. There. Okay. So we're going to call this X. Okay. This is one way to do it, where you multiply 315 times 7.6 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6 and get your answer. Okay, we can think of it like that. Or I can flip this over and I can say 6 ounces is 315 yards. And 7.6 ounces, we just need to make sure ounces are with ounces and yards are with yards. I'll label it here just so we're clear. Okay, so another way of thinking about this is to just do this division. So let me use my phone real quick and do. So what this will give us is how many ounces per yard. So it's going to be a small fraction. I could have done it this way too. How many yards per ounce? You know what? That's how I want to do it. So we can do this like what I was about to do, and you're still going to end up dividing. I'll just do it the way I was going to do it. Because X is on the bottom, you multiply. No. So this is, I do not like this setup. Ignore this setup. So the other way we can think about this, even though it would work with the cross multiplying and dividing, it would just be this same thing. The other way we can think about this is how many yards per ounce. So whatever's on the bottom is on the bottom here. So how many yards per ounce? So we're going to do 315 divided by 6. I will grab my calculator since I don't know that in the top of my head. And it says 52.5. So this is 52.5 yards per ounce. So then if I know I had 7.6 ounces in this pile, then I can just take that and do times 7.6 ounces. Then those ounces will cancel each other out and leave you with just our yards. So then times 7.6, it actually came out a perfect number of 399 yards. So I have approximately 400 yards there. Again, precision of weighing, I don't have, if I had put it just to ounces, it would have gone over more decimal places, would have been more precise if I took the ball band off. But you need the ball band to know what it should be. Now, it says right on here, sorry, that's upside down to you. It says right on here, approximately. So we know that this is, for 6 ounces, they have approximately 315 yards. This is Caron Simply Soft. If any of you know, it's a 4-weight, but it's a very thin 4-weight, but it's definitely thicker than a 3-weight. It's right between, and it's silky. For me, it's very splitty. Not my favorite yarn, but I love this color. I think I've worked on 3 or 4 projects using this color. Anyway, that's the math of it. I will wind that up into a ball one cake later. So the best way to think about, you've got 2 ways to think about this. We can either set it up as a proportion, cross multiply, and then divide. I forgot to show that you multiply that direction and that direction. So that was this step, and I'll change that to an asterisk for times. So we can set up the proportion, yards to ounces, or we can say, okay, how many yards do I have per ounce? And then just multiply it by how many yards I have in my unknown quantity, how much yardage there should be. This will always just be an approximation, but that's how you do the math of it. I tried to do it a little more formally this time. Sorry about this. This math works. It's just ounces per yard isn't very meaningful, whereas yards per ounce is more meaningful. So that's why I changed my mind. This math would work out exactly like this math. But the 2 ways of thinking about it is as the proportion or as, okay, what's my per unit measurement, and then times, I'm going to change that to an asterisk as well, because then it's more clear since I'm using decimals. That's an O, not a decimal. So then we get our unit measurement. I've got 52.5 yards per ounce, and then times how many of our ounces I have. For me, that came out to 399, which actually seems a little small to me. Like I said, I feel like my scale wasn't all that accurate, but maybe it is. I'll assume I know the math is right. It's possible these skeins actually have more yardage than it says, or they could have less. Who knows? But there's our math lesson for how to take a bunch of yarn, and it doesn't have to be the same colorway theoretically. Sometimes colorways can change the weight minutely. That's part of why it says approximately. It has something to do with the chemistry of it. But the math lesson, you can do the proportion, or you can do a unit value, and we get yards per ounce, and then how many ounces I have. So anytime you have a scrap or a partial skein or whatever, as long as you know the original, what it should be, how much yardage it should be, then you can use this. And that's all I have for today. Y'all aren't going to believe this. My funny story, not funny story, is I need to go back to the dentist. So 4 times in February, and now it will be 1 time in March. This time is because they need to do some filing down of part of the crown that they just did for me. It's too high in the back, and so they just need to drill it down. Luckily, that sound only mildly gives me headaches, so that's cool. So really looking forward to it. It's a whole long story. I tried to get in today, but that did not happen, and so instead I came home and filmed this. But yes, I get to go to see the dentist. Yes, yet again, if only I knew when I said on Camille's Live, oh, I need to go see the dentist soon, that I would be seeing the dentist on the regular. Anyway, thanks for stopping in, and there's your crochet math lesson formally done as opposed to as part of another video.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.